I'm about to make a lot of car dealers very angry. And honestly, I might make some of you uncomfortable too. But someone has to say it.
You know that feeling. You've been working hard, sacrificing, and finally you pull into that dealership, sign the papers, and drive off in something shiny. That feeling of success, of making it. It feels like a reward for all your hard work. Look, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to show you the math and the psychology behind the decisions we make. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you can't unsee it, you can start making choices that actually serve you, instead of the banks and the dealerships.
It's a lie, and it's costing you more than just a monthly payment. It's costing you your future freedom.
Most people will spend more money on their car over their lifetime than it would take to become completely financially independent. Let that sink in. The very thing you're using to look successful is the thing keeping you from actually being successful. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Not, can I afford the payment? Because you already know the answer to that. You'll find a way to stretch the budget. No, the real question is, are you willing to trade your freedom for a leather interior? I want to show you something, and I want you to really look at it, because this is the math that car dealerships don't want you to understand. Let's say you buy a car for $30,000. Maybe it's a little more, maybe a little less, but $30,000 is a pretty average new car these days. Nothing crazy. Now let's say instead of buying that car, you bought a reliable used car for $10,000. A Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, something that gets you from point A to point B without drama. And you take that extra $20,000 you saved and you invest it. Nothing fancy, just a basic index fund that tracks the S&P 500. Historically, that's averaged about 8 to 10% over the long run. 20 years later, that $20,000 isn't $20,000 anymore. It's over $140,000. That's not me being optimistic. That's just math. So let's be honest with ourselves. What did that car actually cost you? It didn't cost you $30,000. It cost you $140,000. That's the real price tag. That's what you paid for the feeling of driving off the lot. And I can already hear some of you thinking, okay, but I need a reliable car. I can't drive a beater forever. And you're right, you do need reliable transportation. But let me ask you something. What's more reliable? A $30,000 car that loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot? Or a $140,000 investment portfolio that's making you money while you sleep? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Nick, I don't have $20,000 to invest. I'm barely making it to my next paycheck. And I hear you. I really do. But here's where the $20,000 number we talked about earlier comes in. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, every decision feels impossible. You're in survival mode. A $500 car repair feels like a financial crisis. You take the first job offer that comes along because you can't afford to be picky. You say yes to things you hate because you need the money. But something shifts when you hit that $20,000 mark. And it's not just about having more money. It's about having clarity. Suddenly, you stop looking at monthly payments and start looking at opportunity costs. When you have $20,000 in the bank, a cool car stops being a reward. It starts looking like what it really is, a roadblock. You see it clearly for the first time. That shiny object isn't a symbol of success. It's a detour on your path to freedom. This is what wealthy people mean when they say money goes to money. It's not some conspiracy. It's that having money gives you the mental bandwidth to make better decisions. You stop being reactive. You start being intentional. And that intentionality is worth more than the money itself. Let me paint you two pictures. Person A gets into a brand new BMW. They look proud for a moment, but then they're checking their phone nervously. They're calculating. Can they really afford this? What if something breaks? What if they lose their job? The pride turns to anxiety. Person A just bought the car they thought would make them feel successful, but instead of freedom, they feel trapped. Every ding is a crisis. Every payment is a weight. They're driving a status symbol, but inside, they're stressed. Person B gets into a clean, older Honda Civic. It's not flashy, but it's well maintained. They look at their bank app on their phone. A smile crosses their face. They put the phone down, start the car, and drive off with a sense of calm.
Person B drives a car that doesn't impress anyone. But here's what no one sees. They have $20,000 in the bank. They have an investment account that's quietly growing. When their boss asks them to work late again, they have the freedom to say no. When an unexpected expense comes up, it's an inconvenience, not a crisis. Here's what I want you to understand. The stress you think you're escaping by buying something nice, you're actually buying more of it. You're trading one kind of pressure for another.
You think the new car will make you feel like you've arrived. But what actually happens? Now you're worried about parking it, worried about scratching it, worried about the payment, worried about what happens if you miss a month. The thing you bought to prove you're successful becomes the thing that makes you feel one bad month away from failure. Real wealth doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. Real wealth is quiet. It's the ability to sleep through the night. It's the confidence to walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you. It's looking at your bank account and smiling, not because of a number, but because of what that number represents. Options.
Now, let me be clear about something. I'm not saying you should never have nice things. I'm not saying you need to drive a beat-up 1998 Corolla for the rest of your life while you hoard every penny.
That's not the point. The point is intentionality. If you're a car person, I mean genuinely, deeply passionate about cars, then maybe spending money on a car that brings you joy is worth it to you. That's fine. But most people aren't car people. Most people just want the feeling of success, and they're chasing that feeling in the most expensive way possible. You can get that feeling of success so much cheaper and more effectively. Watch your net worth grow. Watch your investment account hit $10,000, then $20,000, then $50,000. Watch your options expand. Watch yourself become the person who can say yes to opportunities because you're not trapped by payments. That feeling, that quiet confidence, that's real success. And it doesn't come from a car dealership. It comes from building something that's actually yours, something no one can take away from you. I want to leave you with something to think about, and I want you to be honest with yourself because no one else is going to hear your answer.
Most people spend their whole lives buying things to look successful to people they don't even like. They take out loans they can barely afford for cars that impress strangers at stoplights. And at the end of it all, they wonder why they're stressed, why they can't retire, why they feel trapped.
But you don't have to be most people. You can decide right now that you're done trading your freedom for things that don't matter. You can decide that the next time you feel that itch, that urge to buy something, to prove something, you'll ask yourself the real question.
Not, can I afford the payment? That's the question they want you to ask. The real question is, what is this costing me in terms of my freedom? How many years am I adding to my working life? How many options am I giving up?
Because the person driving the flashy car, they're probably stressed about money. And the person driving the older Honda, they're probably sleeping better at night, watching their freedom grow. And one day, when that person with the Honda decides they really want something that actually matters to them, they'll have the money to get it without the stress, without the payments, without the trade-off. So I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've been told you need to buy that you're now questioning? Maybe it's a car. Maybe it's a bigger house. Maybe it's a status symbol you've been saving for. Drop it in the comments. Let's break this cycle together. And if this video made you think differently about what success actually looks like, hit that like button.
Subscribe if you want more videos about the real mechanics behind building wealth. Not the gimmicks, not the get-rich-quick nonsense, but the actual psychology and strategy that actually works.
Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now, and trust me, they'll thank you for choosing freedom over a leather interior.